Good morning and welcome to Gulfstream Park on this Thursday afternoon. You can see our three surfaces here. The tractors going over are always fast. Tapeta course, firm turf, and fast main track. A beautiful day for racing here today, Brian.
Yeah, absolutely. And $350,000 in the gross jackpot. Rainbow Six, couple singles in the finale yesterday, but
Yeah.
it pulled through. Not for someone out there, unfortunately, but big late pick 5 yesterday as well. So 350, that kicks off in race 4. I have a Rainbow Six ticket today as Ron Nicoletti is off today. He'll be back with us tomorrow. So, yeah, lots to look forward to and a beautiful day. Hope to see you out here because, as Samantha said, it is perfect out.
Yeah, it really is, and it's so nice. A lot of places in the country are freezing right now, and I'm glad we're not one of them. We'll go ahead and dive into race number 1. It is the start of the early pick 5. Brian's got the early pick 5 duties. We're scratching the 3 and the 10 out of this race, but take a look at your ticket.
Yeah, nothing going on here. This was the same ticket for me. I did have to rework the late pick 4. We'll get into it in a second. $28. Pretty condensed here in race number 1. I go 4 deep with the top pick, Mouse Fast for me. Back-to-back singles in race number 3. Hell's Kitten will be very, very tough. My best bet of the day is Nature Boy. And then the deep spread in race 5. I did the same thing in that Rainbow Six ticket. Take note, too, that's a turf race. The rails are out 35 feet like they were yesterday, $28.
A nice affordable ticket, punch it twice or maybe add a little bit of coverage here in race number 1. Like I said, scratch the 3 and the 10 out of this spot here, and we both are on the 4 here. Brian already opening up with some early money, and that's Frosted Faith, kind of a professional maiden so far, but as far as this field goes, seems like the logical horse.
Yeah, I agree totally, Samantha, and you know, had blinkers off last time, puts them back on today. And I look at that race 3 back on December 8th when the blinkers were on with a big number, a strong third. Jose Ortiz is here as well. I don't want to say it's now or never, but like you kind of hinted at, the chances are starting to add up a little bit.
Yeah, they really are. And the number 6 here, I don't trust this horse at all. And maybe this stat will kind of sway your opinion a little bit here with trainer Danny Gargan. This is a stat on horses dropping for more than 50% claim or tag drop. 7 for 18, which isn't bad. 39%, $2.10 ROI. He doesn't do this very often, as you can see from the small sample size, but I think that 39 win percent is kind of deceiving.
Yeah, well, you could argue, too, that it could be a little higher because that is a significant drop.
Yeah.
And Danny's a high percentage guy in and of itself. I mean, he's a guy that typically when he's rolling, he's about 25%. Yeah, so you could argue that could be a little higher. I think we're both thinking the same here. I was not going to get beat by this horse.
Yeah.
You were okay with it. But I wasn't going to put him on top either because it just looks like, why don't you take me, let's get out of the program here and we'll move on. I don't know. He didn't do any running last time.
Yeah,
either.
that was my note last time. Never ran a jump last out, and it was really true. It was just, seems like for sale to me here for the Gargan Barn, and I'm sure somebody's going to drop in. They didn't spend a lot for him, just $25,000, so they're not taking a big cut here, but still just not enough. On the rail, though, Blast the Music, we might get a nice price on this horse.
Yeah,
Brian.
you know what? I actually used it. He was my long shot last time and didn't do any running. I thought he might get clear on the lead, and that didn't happen from an outside draw. But now we go to Luz Dobles. We know how strong she is, and John and Imaginary Stables, you team them up. Lionel sticks around. I think that's a positive.
Yeah.
Just maybe looking for something underneath.
Yeah, and Lionel Reyes has just been riding lights out as of late. Race number 2, a maiden 12, 5, 6 furlongs on the dirt. I have an early pick 4 ticket for this sequence here, and went 3 deep in this race here. I am completely against Mouse Fast, but we'll get to that in just a minute. Race 3, I singled with the number 6, Hell's Kitten. That's a cute little play on words there. Race number 4, I spread a little bit here. The number 2, Pacific Legend, is my top pick. And in race 5, 2 deep in that, in 8, Demogorgon, first off the claim for Claudio Gonzalez, is my top pick. And this is a race here that is, you could go all in this race.
Yeah, you definitely could. Whoever feels like running their best race is going to win.
Yep.
I get what you're saying with Mouse Fast. I went 4 deep in here. This just happened to be on top. I cut back, lay 6, Jose D'Angelo, Luis Saya says, you know what, I'll ride again.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We don't have to we don't have to improve. Sadly, we don't have to improve that much on that race last time. And I do think the cutback in the post will play in here. I have no confidence in this horse. I wouldn't bet this horse at 3-1 on the morning line.
Yeah.
But we've got to make a top pick. It goes here. Like I said, I went 4 deep in this spot.
The number 3, Smoking Cloud, also taking a drop in class here. And that Provincial, who won that horse's last race, was just a runaway winner. There was no catching, and it was a decent third-place finish, and Sunny Leon stays aboard as well.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of this horse because you're going to take an underlaid price, the drop in class, sometimes too, and I don't want to use the word a big figure, but what happened was the winner runs off the page, and sometimes these horses underneath get higher figures than maybe they should because the winner ran so fast. You know, this horse is going to run in the low 40s with the buyer if that's for you, and that might be good enough to win this race.
Yeah, it really might be. And then there's one more Jose D'Angelo horse, the number 2, Gulfstream. We both have some interest in this horse, and I like that Jose sticks around, and this horse is getting a little more space between races this time.
Yeah, I mean, you just look at the race with Lasix last time, and this horse really woke up. I mean, he's not going to be 8-1 in here. It might be half of that or 7-2. It's a big, you know, Jose sticks, and the one race with Lasix is the only race you need to look at, and that puts this horse squarely on the line with the rest of this group.
Race number 3, this is a 12-5 claimers, non-winners of 2 lifetime, 5.5 furlongs on the always fast Tapeta track here, and you saw this the same way as me. The number 6 Hell's Kitten. This is a barn that's going the absolute right direction right now, and this is a speedy horse as well.
I got to be honest with you, and I tried like heck not to pick this horse, and I just said, you know what, I got to pick this horse. Where else are you going to go? Whoever you like, he's better than, and he's drawn better than him too, and now he's outside a little bit, so if anybody wants to get crazy towards the inside and go, Jose can just kind of spy it and look to his left and proceed accordingly.
Yep.
There are spots on this card where I think you're allowed to try to beat some strong favorites. I wasn't going to do it in this spot.
I thought it was interesting, though. Edgar Zaya is usually the main rider for Safi Joseph on a lot of horses and has actually been riding Hell's Kitten quite a bit, but ends up on your second choice, Unlonely, off of a 1-year-plus layoff.
Well, you know, it's Mary Leitner, and everything she's been sending out is so live. Edgard has been riding these horses. Now, I don't want to get into it. Maybe Mary had this horse here all along, and Hell's Kitten wasn't supposed to run here.
Exactly.
We don't know, but it's a good sign to see him aboard, and it's whatever Mary's sending is live, and I think you have to elevate it. I don't think Unlonely is going to beat Hell's Kitten.
Yeah.
Maybe we get a little value underneath. We haven't seen this horse since well over a year.
Yeah, and getting the blinkers off, too, that's kind of a nice positive sign on a horse that's maturing and getting better with age. So we'll see what he brings to the paddock here in that race number 3. We're going to take a short little break, and when we are back, Brian is in the hot seat for the Rainbow 6 time.
This is a championship meet. All the best jockeys in the world are here, and I'm excited to ride against them.
We back.
And you get to watch some really incredible, talented athletes out there.
To us, it's a place to be in the winter.
I love Gulfstream Park because of the racing.
The palm trees, the beach is right here. The horse racing is some of the best in the country.
A lot of good horses come out of here. And if you want to go to the next level, Gulfstream Park was the place to come.
I remember the first time I came to Gulfstream, it was like this big fairy tale place. All the history. And all these great horses, trainers, jockeys. It was everything that I ever dreamed of.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today. Samantha Perry joined with Brian Nadeau here, taking you through this Thursday afternoon card, and it is Rainbow 6 time in this race number 4.
$350,000 in that gross jackpot guarantee. This is an even $42. I don't really know how I did that because Ron's 43.20, I think. So well, I'm going to single here. When I first did this ticket in the office, it was like $112. Well, we can't do that. So my best bet of the day is in race 4. Always single there. Deep spread in race 5. We already talked about it. I had to single Free Smoke in race 6, and I don't think it's a bad single. This horse is going to be bet off the board, 9-5 on the morning line, a firster for Carlos David. And then 3 deep in race number 7 with number 4, Beantown Baby. I lost another long shot today, Samantha. Scratched out on a fast and firm day, so double days in a row for me. There's the big spread in race 8. I am not picking Affy Kid this time, if anybody out there is wondering. And then we go 41 in race number 9. I've got a replay to show of Our Country. I thought he ran very, very well last time. That is 42 even. Get involved because it's getting big.
Yeah, it really is. And this is upcoming race, the 4th race, 6 furlongs on the dirt, claimers, 12,500 the tag, non-winners of 2 races. And I'll let you kick it off with Nature Boy since that's your single to kick off the pick 6.
Yeah, and we've got a replay to show as well. And Nature Boy, to me, he's loose and controlling in here, okay? Finishing order of this race, keep in mind, 6, 4, 5. So point being, anybody around Nature Boy early is nowheresville late, okay? Fishing for Fun is going to come into the picture a little bit. Well, he's the 2. He's going to drop way back. But Nature Boy just buries everybody in this race. Look at how quick they're going. That's just utter insanity, including the even money favorite, Mundo Mix. Now, they're going to get Shakur in for whatever reason. Absolutely freaked this day. It's probably because of this hellacious pace we're watching unfold. He wins by 9. But here's old Nature Boy, well clear of another deep closer in this race. We're talking about 62.52 L's here. I thought this was a pretty good effort. Now, confidently, they're actually going to rise this horse up to 10, Orlando Noda. And he's as loose as can be. He doesn't have to go 44 and 3 in here.
No.
I'm just going to hold my breath and see if he can pop this field of a lot of one-firsts in here.
Exactly, and you said it best there. And with the controlling speed being Nature Boy in this spot, I think that he very well could be loose on the lead, and that might set up well for my long shot. That's the 5 Federal Exchange. Getting weight allowance in this spot, which I find in races like this, it's a big asset to kind of have a little less weight than everybody. And the last time this gelding ran the 6 furlongs flat distance, actually popped a pretty nice number, a career best number. Obviously reacted off that, and they tried a couple different things, but back to basics here and maybe for a price.
Yeah, I mean, I don't blame you for looking around. Let's be honest. Nature Boy's not the easiest to trust kind of horse. And Federal Exchange, yeah, you're right. You're getting 5 to 7 pounds in a spot like this. And, you know, Nature Boy, there's a possibility he bounces a little bit off such a taxing effort last time, and Federal Exchange could be there to pick up some pieces.
This is one race where you would either just toss Nature Boy maybe completely, or just go with everybody else, or single him. I mean, so it's a tough race, especially with the number 7 Cajun Bayou as well, who you have picked second. This horse has been right there, just can't find the winner's circle for the second time yet.
Yeah, I mean, he has run well in both starts versus winners, and he should be favored in here, but he doesn't exactly have a ton of early speed. I mean, he's 4 lengths off a half of 47 last time, so he's going to get run off his feet a little bit, and, you know, he might be left with a little too much to do, but he is the horse to beat in here. I don't think we're going to argue with that.
Race number 5, this is the start of the late pick 5, a massive payoff yesterday. I think it was $16,000. It was a very nice payoff. Let's go ahead and take a look at my ticket. I think I went 3 for 5 yesterday, so let's try to go 5 for 5 today. 3 deep in this race. We'll get to it in just a moment. Race number 6, the 8 Moon Capture is my single and best bet of the day. We'll see how that goes. Race 7 went 3 deep. The number 4 Beantown Baby, coming off a bit of a layoff for the Dale Romans barn, is my top pick in race number 8. The 3 Nova Fola is my top pick for the Ralph Nix barn, looking to have 2 days with back-to-back winners. Race number 9, this was a tough one for me, and it could go a lot of different ways, but the number 1 Parkland is where I ended up already having some wins over this course here. $54 the total, a little bigger ticket than I usually play, but I think there's maybe some opportunity for some pops.
If you get your single home, you're going to get a lot of value with that one too, because I'm sure my single in that rainbow is Free Smoke is going to be a really heavy choice in there.
Yeah, most definitely. Race number 5, 7.5 furlongs on the firm turf course today. Non-winners of 2 lifetime, $20,000 to $16,000 is the claiming tag here, and scratch the also eligible, the 13. That's Sister Nell out of this spot, and We both are on the number 8, Demogorgon, which is a pretty nice filly first off the claim.
Yeah, I'm surprised. I was 7 deep in this race, and we land on the on the top pick. But Claudio Gonzalez off the claim. I know we like the job he's done. You're probably familiar with this horse, being with Brendan for a little bit back in her career. And Claudio's almost up to 30% off the claim. She's got tactical speed. This is a good post for her style because she's going to have enough speed to get position and be outside a little bit, but not too far, into the first turn. And, you know, Kent Sweezy did some good things with her, but I just wonder if maybe, because he got her to the turf last time, Claudio picks up on that. Maybe we move forward a little bit here.
Yeah, most definitely. And they're both good trainers, so I can only imagine that it'll be a comparable sort of run, hoping that she came off of that race well. She is a very big filly, so I think she's one that's going to be all right as far as carrying weight from race to race. The number 6, Tweaked, stretching out for the first time in a while, at least here.
Yeah, and you don't see any 2-turn races, so it's kind of a question mark. I dialed in out of a Sarland mare, so maybe a little bit more on the bottom than the top of this pedigree. I look at it was a turf sprint, albeit at Aqueduct, but with a big number the last time she ran on the turf. And if she feels like throwing that race down today, she's going to win. Can we get back to it? I don't know. Can we 2-turn? I don't know. But in a race where, I mean, I'm spreading, we're with them.
Yeah, and we're completely different on the second half of our picks here. We both do have some interest in the number 9, Into Touring, though. Mark Cassie, this horse getting back to the grass as well after some Tapeta efforts at Woodbine.
Yeah, another one who's got to prove it at 2 turns. I don't know where she's going to be in this race because she didn't have any speed at all sprinting up at Woodbine on the turf and the Tapeta up there. So it'll be interesting to see what Tyler Gaffalione does. Maybe she's closer on the stretch out, but if that's the case, maybe she's 6 wide into the turn as well.
The number 10, Chestnut Checkers. This horse is an interesting one. Has yet to win on the turf, but has actually put up some okay races anytime that she does get on it.
Yeah, formerly with Muhammad Mubarak, now with his son, who's the trainer named here. Yeah, she's got solid races. That turf race 2 back against 35 is going to work here. You can't make up a worse post, so it's just a real problem. 7.5 on the turf.
Yep, and you know the rail at 35 feet today, it's not horrible as far as a post like this, but you have to make a decision early. Are you going to go, or are you going to take back and get a good covering position? And it just kind of is all up to Sonny Leon as the race unfolds there. And race number 6, State Breds, 6 furlongs, the distance, maiden special weight event, and Free Smoke here. This is a really interesting horse on paper.
Yeah, and we'll take a look. I used 2 horses in my late pick 4, and we'll take a look at it here. I singled in the Rainbow. I needed leverage. I did use 2 here. We'll get to it in a second. And then 3 deep in race 7. Again, I lose my long shot in there. I scratched into Beantown Baby, who I know you mentioned. 5 deep in the 8th. That's the problem race for me. And then Our Country, as I already mentioned, in race number 9. That's a 30. I couldn't come up with a single. I didn't want a single Free Smoke, but clearly, to me, going to take a lot of money in the horse to beat.
Yeah, most definitely. And this is an interesting horse to me because on paper there's only 4 works here. And that's not a huge foundation. Now, Carlos David, he's very high percentage with these Florida-bred horses. This sire, Buchero, at the OBS April sale, this was the most expensive Buchero I'm trying to say sibling, but I'm meaning to say
sold, basically.
Yes. By a lot, like double paid than any other one. So I kind of have questions about this horse. The work was okay, 10-1. I think that he got better as he went further out. So this is a good basis point. Bred pretty well. Half to Wildwood's Beauty, who is a 4-time stake winner here. But the 4 works on paper is questionable to me.
We got a stat too for Carlos David. I thought it was great that the Luis Saez lands here. You mentioned they paid $145,000. So this is not overwhelming, 16%. But what I think is noteworthy, and it's not a huge sample, Carlos is up to 24% from a 17-horse sample of late. So I think he's tweaked it a little bit more. You know, 4 works, yes. The last 2 works, and you know a lot more how to read works than I do, but it really seemed like the last 2 works, they really picked it up. And I know you've got a best bet in here as well, but Moon Capture and anybody else in here, they're no great shakes. I just felt if this horse could run a little bit, he's going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, and Free Smoke will be a horse that probably is going to hit the lead and hope for to play Come and Catch Me. The number 8 Moon Capture. I took a stand with this race just because I needed to have a single with some leverage here, and this is just a colt that I like the way he improved a lot last time. They ran him for $50,000 open company. He's back with state breds now. That state bred effort for his first ever out, it's excusable. It was his first start. He drew far outside. Now he's far outside again, but he's got a little of experience, and I think that will play to an advantage for a lot of these horses.
Yeah, and he added Lasix last time too, and you could say that's what really ticked him up a little bit. And he did well to draw outside of Free Smoke. So if Free Smoke's going like we think he probably will, and he'll have a lot of speed. If he gets a little late, well, here's Moon Capture right to his outside, theoretically, to take over.
Race number 7, a claiming $35,000 event, 5 furlongs on the grass. This is my favorite distance on the turf course here.
It's one of us.
Yeah, the snappy 5 furlongs. It's a lot of fun to watch. A couple scratches out of this race. The 3 and the 5 come out here, and we both are on the number 4, Beantown Baby, who will have his work or her work cut out for her.
Well, I think that's a good way to put it. And I was on Sweet Madam Blue as my long shot because she was going.
Right.
Maybe she doesn't last. But now, conversely, I do scratch into Beantown Baby. And as Samantha kind of hinted at, she doesn't have a lot of early speed. She's at the mercy of the pace. And when you're going, it's a snappy 5 furlongs. It's probably about the quickest 5 furlongs you're going to see in the country. She's going to have to hurry. She's going to need some speed up front. With that being said, she probably is the best horse in here.
And to her inside, the 1 and the 2, to be fair, they are the speed of the race, which I think will help her out quite a bit. Chantel on the number 1 Chrome Plated Heart will go. Paco Lopez on Peach Cobbler. This horse is coming off of a 2-month-plus layoff, but shown speed before. I think that this is a filly with Javier Castellano in the irons. He's not a Hall of Famer for no reason. He can time up a ride very well, and this could be a nice horse. We'll see how she kind of takes to the layoff. The number 6 Crowding Out, second off a layoff, and has some speed as well.
Yeah, and a nice post here, too, because now you mentioned the 1 and the 2. Well, Crowding Out is going to be outside of them, and she's certainly going to get first run on Beantown Baby. So that's a good spot. Now, Kelly Breen claimed her for 35 from Chad Brown and Seth Klarman and ran her back at Belmont and Aqueduct. That was a good race that she ran, a good second. Can we get back to it? That's the question.
Yeah, she had a little bit of a layoff to answer to, and then they brought her back on the Tapeta just kind of as I would say, a little tune-up race for a spot like this. I'm hoping so, at least. But some nice work since that race indicate that she's ready for a spot like this. I guess we'll just have to see. It's 5 furlongs. It's a quick race, and anything can happen in a spot like this. Race number 8. This is a starter optional claiming event, 1 1/16 miles on the Tapeta track. And I'll let you kick it off, Brian, because I know that you've got a replay you want to show.
Yeah, it's Affy Kid and Unified Weekend. We'll show the start where Affy Kid kind of blows it a little bit and instantly loses some key position and a few lengths as well. There's he's breaking dead last now. So he already spots this field, 3, 5 lengths, whatever you want to call it, depending on, the early leader. And now we're going to go into the far turn, and he makes an aggressive loop. It's kind of, I'm going to talk about this replay, and you're going to wonder why I didn't pick him again for about the 9th time in a row. This is a pretty solid middle move here, and he rushes up. I don't know if he saw daylight and kind of wanted to run off a little bit, but he goes up, and he's vying for the lead, and I kind of think and I bet him in this spot, and I think right here you're kind of like, okay, this is nice and all, but when are we going to tire? And basically that's what happened. He tired a little bit late. He does finish second. Suddenly, you remember this race, Easy as ABC was like opened up at 3 to 5, and he's good again all of a sudden. I don't know why, but and he runs off here. But this was a good effort by Affy Kid. I'm just kind of, I guess I'm getting a little tired of it because he does this more often than he doesn't. He dangles the carrot in front of you a little bit, and then he pulls, Lucy pulls the football away from Charlie Brown, and you're like, oh, he could have won.
Yep.
He's a big player in here. I didn't want to pick him on top. Unified Weekend ran well in that spot, too. I used them both. I just went with McMoney.
Yeah, the thing about McMoney that I like, I think that he's got a little bit of upside compared to those two horses. Second to Peta's start, has more spacing. If you look at Unified Weekends races, ran on January 18th, then on January 27th, now back on February 9th. These are 3 races in a row that are tough ones for a horse that, I don't know, maybe this is the way that he kind of trains himself in the races, but Antonio Sano isn't afraid. This isn't unusual for a barn like this, but McMoney, I feel like, has some nice upside, and Edgar Perez, he's pretty good at getting these Tapitas races down to a nice art.
Yeah, I was talking with Eddie Gray yesterday in the office, and Edgar Perez, he's sitting up there 11-12% during the championship meet. He's having a really good meet. You know, you think about who's here and the Hall of Famers and that kind of thing during the winter and riding for all the big barns, and sometimes some riders fall through the cracks or they've got to struggle to get live horses. I'm going to tell you what, Edgar Perez is doing as good as he possibly could do with the stock he's riding. To see him in there 11, 12, 13% is a testament to the job he's doing throughout the course of the championship meet.
Do you feel like these riders that are around here for the summertime and have had a little more racing experience over the Tapeta have a bit of an advantage?
I don't think it hurts. There's no doubt about it. I don't think it hurts. And you can see, Lionel Reyes, another one that comes to mind, Miguel Vasquez, who's done so well. Edgar Zayas certainly too. They know where to put. They know the nuances of these Tapeta races. We talk about it time and time again. You don't want to be too far out of it sprinting, but you don't want to be too close or on the lead. And I think we saw that early on in the championship meet. Maybe some riders, putting horses on the lead, and now maybe that's not where we want to be, and you kind of live and learn type of thing.
Yeah, it is a nice competitive race, though, and one that you could go a lot of different ways. To end the card, though, race number 9, 1 mile on the grass course, a starter optional claiming race here, and another one that's got some snappy speed in it. You went with the number 4, Our Country, and I actually have in big red letters to add on my late pick 5 ad.
Yeah, well, take a look at the replay and watch how this horse ran last time. So I'm going to give you your finishing order of this race here. You're going to see Our Country. He's going to be out the back a little bit. Finishing order is 5-2-1-4, and he was 7th of 7 on the backstretch. Point being, this race holds together very nicely. The horse that was in second early wins. The horse that was on the lead runs third. Our Country's the only one that did any running late, and he ends up splitting them. He gets beaten a neck in here. It's Junior Alvarado. Mark Hennig looks like he made a really nice claim 3 back. And in Our Country, I'm going to come back to him in this spot. I think he gets, you mentioned it too, the flow of this race, at least on paper, to me, it's night and day different than the scenario that Our Country just rallied into last time when they're going 48-1. We'll see what kind of price we get on him. I like him in this spot.
Yeah, it is a very nice spot, and I'm going to have to go back and email GSP updates to add this horse to my late pick 5 because I really do like the way that horse ran, as you pointed out. The number 1, Parkland, second off a layoff for the Saffie Joseph barn. This horse tried to get on the grass last time, but this horse can run on anything, and one drawing away in that Tapeta race.
Yeah, this to me is the horse to beat. He's got a better post than Charles Chrome, who's a major player in here as well. Don't get me wrong, but I like the fact that he's getting back on turf. He's now going to run on turf for the first time for Saffie Joseph Jr. Perfectly drawn as well, and he's got the tactical speed to be close, but not too close to what we think might be a little heated pace.
The number 10 Extra Sexy Big Daddy, which I know you don't have included, but this horse is 0 for 8 on the grass, which is not a very nice move, but he actually popped some pretty nice numbers on the grass.
Yeah, if he can lay close, but not too close, but he's got to get position into that first turn, and that's the conundrum for Edgar Zayas. Does he go and run the risk of using too much horse? Does he kind of thread the needle a little bit and be 5 wide into the turn? But you're right, even though he's winless on turf, all his races, his recent races, his numbers fit nicely with this group.
Yeah, they fit to be winning numbers, but he just hasn't really found that winner's circle yet. So we'll see what we get for him. That wraps up the Thursday card, but don't go away yet because we have a fun lightning round that Ron put together for us here.
Before he took off yesterday. So the first one is, and you've seen this graphic time and time again, the first racing tour. I believe we've got 3 days down and 2 big Saturdays right here in South Florida are left. Of course, the Fountain of Youth on the road to that April 1st Florida Derby. I believe we've got like 20 stakes combined on those two cards.
Yeah, it'll be a really big day. We're getting closer to the Derby. It's an exciting time this weekend at Tampa. A lot of our riders are going to be gone, and we'll pick up some more Derby points there about 3 hours west of us on Alligator Alley. But here, your best bet today.
Yeah, my best bet today is, where am I? Nature Boy, that's right, trying to pop that field in race number 4.
Mine is Moon Capture, going to try to beat probably a very heavy favorite in the 6th race with Free Smoke, hoping Moon Capture can seal the deal. You lost your long shot. Mine was Federalist Exchange. Federalist Papers is another horse, 6-1 on the morning line. We'll see how that kind of shapes out here, and beat the expert on Saturday.
Ron is back as we cycle all the way through, right? So he starts it off, beat the expert, GulfstreamPark.com. You just got to pick more winners than Mr. Nicoletti, and free polo will come your way.
Yep, and he actually stayed home today so he could put together his Saturday picks, because he's defeated you and I both, Brian, and beat the expert.
Defeated is being kind.
Yeah, that's true. We've been clobbered on Saturdays, but it's all right. This Saturday is a new day, and I'm feeling it.
All right, I like it.
As far as beating another expert, Girl Power with Claudia tomorrow. If you can pick more winners than her, you can win up to $500. You have to register before 2 p.m. in Silks. This is every Friday. Look at that beautiful picture of Claudia here. She'll be joining us a little bit later on the card as well. We will take you into the first race with Pete Aiello with the scratches and changes. Brian will be here all afternoon, as well as myself and Claudia. Have a great day today at Gulfstream Park, and Pete, take it away with the scratches and changes.
We're ready for the start. They're off.